Gotta go live on YouTube. Hold on, live on YouTube? Question mark. Hold on. Here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, live on YouTube. Let me remember not to say a swear word for the next 20 minutes. Grabbed a random wide walk emote. Hold on, let me see. Wide walk. I searched up wide walk, and I'm getting a lot of a different type of activity, one shall say. One letter change, and you got a different activity going on for walk. I don't know why. Not even what I searched up. Wide Walter? And what's with search systems? Are they just like dying? Well, it would appear that wide walk seems to be the best one, apparently. I don't like it. I'm going to be honest. That's really sad. What are all these emotes? Wide tens a walk. Okay, anyways, that's a problem for future me. Current me's problem is working on this. Yeah, there's a lot of weird emotes on 7TV. It makes you realize what kind of platform we're on. It kind of makes you realize what kind of platform we're on. I'm surrounded by these weirdos. I guess I'm a weirdo too, so I guess we're all in this together. Did you see that? Did you guys see that John Nanite sent a cease and desist? Like he went to an actual legal firm and got them to send a cease and desist to a YouTuber that was criticizing John Nanite. Hold on, I gotta wipe my nose. You guys talk about that. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. And then, damn it, man, I just ate, dude. I'm gonna vomit. Ugh. I like talk about John Nanite. I think we need to burn him to the ground. His entire everything, his brand and everything. He even sent a DMCA to a YouTube channel that literally the entire DMCA is just them scrolling through their YouTube channel in the first 12 seconds of their video. They literally DMCA'd just this. That was the footage for 12 seconds. This was just the footage, and they DMCA'd that. Oh. Hello, Pashetta Gamer. In all caps, hello, friend. What happened to last day's project? Yesterday? Yesterday, I'm still working on the same project. It's right here. It's last day. Yesterday. Yesterday? Last day? I'm working on it right now. The day before? Oh, the day before was also this project as well. You mean the day before yesterday as well? Yeah. I'm kidding. You mean the parody? No, it was just the parody. That's all that was. The actual zombie game I have not gotten started on yet. I'm just messing with you. I have not gotten started on the actual zombie game that I plan on making at some point or another. No Oblivion remake, only Monkey. Redeem in-game to get... What is it? It's like a monkey pet or something? That's so... Oh my god, that's so troll. Everyone probably made rumors. At the end, it's gonna be Elder Scrolls Online. It's a picture of a monkey. Hey, you can redeem this monkey. Monkey pet. Don't believe any rumors, man. You guys got to stop believing rumors. GTA 6 tomorrow. Stop believing it. That guy's trying to get clicks. The guy that said Titanfall 3 is possible. They're not real people. None of those people are real. Suit for Hire tomorrow. Now that's a real rumor. Now that I can get behind. Now that's a rumor I can get behind. When is Suit for Hire getting a sub? A what? Like a sub? Like a Subway sub? Like a 6 foot long? like a foot long? Sorry, not 6 foot long. That's a big sandwich. You mean a foot long? Why are you being ignorant of me, hurting my feelings? I didn't say hello to you for like 30 seconds, and you're getting in your feelings. What are you, like a really toxic girlfriend? Is that what you are? Like, come on, man. Hello. Relax. It's fine. Sit back. It's fine. Bringing back old memories. Luckily, I don't think I've ever... I kind of did have a somewhat relationship like that at one point. Skipping my class to watch Crimson procrastinate the release of this game? No, don't you procrastinate your class. You go to class right now. What's the class? What is it? Listen, this will decide if I allow you or not. Is it physics? Chemistry? Is it any science or math class? If so, I'll allow it. If so, I'll allow it. Anyways, yeah, I added a bunch of little random things in here. I was thinking to add like a really cool thing where it's like a vent and you can like crouch through it and like walk through the vent. That'd be kind of cool, but I just, yeah, whatever. Like, who cares? Who cares? What is this? Metal Gear Solid? Metal Gear. What if it's gender studies? Oh, that's 100% a skip, brother. That is the skip class. That's the class you skip. My the only thing I remember from gender studies or whatever they called it in my high school is the teacher tried to turn us into vegans. And then I remember one girl in the class was like, "Oh my god, I'm never eating meat again." And then like 2 days later, I see her eating a sandwich, like a hamburger with meat in it. And I'm like, "What happened to that?" And she's like, "I just love meat." I'm like, yeah, true. Oh, I still remember that. But anyways, how's everybody doing? Sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I had a lot of stuff happening here. And I kind of needed to be quiet. So, it might happen again tomorrow. Not sure yet. Yeah, it's a Studio Ghibli class? Brother, get in there. That sounds awesome. Say beer, and then how about I hit the ban button. Ugh. Why do I keep doing this, man? The timeout button. That's what I meant to click. Not again. Listen, man, I'm not gonna be here and be a babysitter, okay? Like, okay, just calm down a little bit. Once I was in a line for a McDonald's drive-thru, the chick before me ordered a shit you not hamburger customized with cheese. Dude in the speaker goes, "So cheeseburger." Laughed so hard I didn't hear her response. I wish you heard her response. Oh, is that what's that called? A cheeseburger? A cheese hamburger with cheese. So a cheeseburger. Maybe that person wasn't like American or like didn't come from around. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, Maximus, how's it going? This guy who was shilling Oblivion remake rumors, just sitting with the stream open and a Copium avatar on screen. You guys been streaming for an hour. He streams longer than I do. Also, can someone tell that guy to stop eating his microphone? I used to do that. I used to have a headset when I was younger. It was like a microphone headset, and I would sometimes, it was disgusting, I know, looking back. I would sometimes, when I was in an argument with someone in a video game, I would start eating the microphone and be like Tyler won. Can you tell me what he answered? Can you tell me what he answered me about the question from the day before's to Spanish? El juego está terminado. Está on Steam. Yeah. Hold on. No recuerdo cómo se llama. I don't know. Anyways, can you say that in English now, please? I said the game is finished. It's on Steam. Or, well, it was on Steam. It was on Steam. What's it called? It's called The Day Before. I think, right? Is it on? It's on Steam, right? What? It's gone? What's this? The day after? What's this? Why does this look deep fried? Yeah. Rewatching the event in slow motion is crazy. That guy's trying to farm like content. And you know what? It's working. He's trying to farm content. He's going frame by frame. Okay. Now what? Now what do we do with this level? He's got 240 watching. If it works, it works. No, I respect it. I respect it. Maybe I need to do something like that on the stream. What do I do? I should start doing meth. Oh, sorry, Maximus, I didn't answer. I use both Blueprints and C++, but the majority of the project is in Blueprints. I do plan on using more C++ though. Hey, no problem, Pochetta. No problem. I don't have oh god, am I gonna have to speak Spanish again? No, I'm not. Someone tell Pochetta the caps lock key is on. Hey, Pochetta, hold on, let me say it in Spanish. Your caps lock key is on. La tecla block meus está activada. No hablo español. Spanish is so difficult, man. I try to learn some Spanish words from my partner, and then I try to teach her French, and she's like, French is too difficult. I'm like, no, it's not. It's literally not that hard. French is ass? No, it's not. It's such an easy language. It's such an easy language. Have you tried learning Spanish? It's much harder. Talk French, please? No. That's going to cost you. Why do I learn Spanish? They're going to take over the world. I don't know. What if you want to visit Spain or literally like any Latin American country? Why would I ever go to Spain? I don't know. It's nice there, I guess. I don't know. You can visit, or you can learn Portuguese and then go to Brazil. Go to Brazil. Come to Brazil. Prove that French is easier? Okay, what kind of language has a double L and then they don't pronounce it as a double L? They just pronounce it as a Y. Okay? French doesn't do that. We don't do any of that. Okay? You gotta do like puzzles while speaking the language. It doesn't make any sense. All right, anyways, what were we working on here? Props pass. Props pass. Props pass. I do want to do one more thing, actually. I feel like we are lacking in the glass department. We need some more glass along this edge of the wall. That'll break up the monotony of this as well. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Crim, make a game without a glass breaking mechanic? Impossible. Hey, you gotta admit, it's fun. You gotta admit, it's fun breaking glass in games. Like when it's good. You know what I mean? You gotta admit, it's fun. You can't even lie. It kinda do be fun. It's like our chaotic nature, things that we can't really necessarily do in real life unless you go into like one of those weird rooms in like LA where you could just break things. Let your inner psycho out. What's wrong with the lighting here? Oh, that makes sense. I really hate the way this looks. This looks horrendous. They're moving the goalpost. They're saying Oblivion Remake is now totally, definitely coming between April 21st and 27th. Man, imagine, you know, overhyping anything. Like, okay, Half-Life 3, I get it. Oblivion Remake, really? Really, guys? Come on. Come on, really? Out of everything you'd huff copium for, you'd huff copium for an Oblivion remake? Yet another Bethesda awful game? Oblivion's only as charming as it is because it's all stilted and messed up. Yeah, but like, what if they just released that nowadays? You saw Starfield. It's the same Bethesda jank, but it just wasn't received very well. Because I feel like people are just kind of... Because now the bugs that Bethesda releases, I feel like, are just not like... They're not very charming anymore. At this point, I feel like the joke is old. It's fun shooting / smashing glass and prompts. How do you deal with someone trying to jump out? Well, they just jump out and die. If they jump out, they just jump out and die. Well, you know, can't stop them. If they want to do that, then, you know, by all means, go for it. Check out Helix. What is Helix? What is that? It's a scam? Man, how many of these are there? Like, it doesn't... It's a scam in a video game. Helix game. Which one? Helix open world multiplayer sandbox game. Oh, great. Another one. Yet another one. Here we go. I'm not turning on sound because... And it's posted on IGN. Man, IGN just posts anything nowadays. Metahumans. Using terms like next-gen graphics. Hey, I know that park asset. Hey, yo. Wait, does that say V Mobile? Yeah. They all do the same thing. All these games do the same thing. They just take existing brands, slightly change it up so it's not like... Yeah, it's so template now. Literally, what was the other game that didn't release when they said they would? And it's like a whole NFT crypto thing. What is it called? Paradise. Paradise, literally, this looks like Paradise. These two games could quite literally just look the same. I don't even want to call them games. That's giving them too much credit. These two, whatever they are. Again, another joke. Balding. Like, it's literally like, it's all the same things. Thousands of custom servers. What do you mean thousands of custom servers? So where's the gameplay? It's all just a bunch of cinematics. Do they have any gameplay? This entire trailer just proves to me even further that Metahuman, I just don't think is great at all. Because, like, look at all these characters. They honestly, it feels like they just don't even look that good. Like, they don't look that good. They have, like, a look to them. I don't know, man. I can't. They all have a look to them. Seems like they're trying to make you think they made NoPixel, but without GTA. That's kind of the vibe I'm seeing. Modded servers. This is all just it's all just cinematics. None of this is actually real. This was so cheaply put together. I'm I'm just perplexed that IGN just posts anything on their page now. So maybe Suit for Hire can actually be posted on IGN. It's literally like 18 separate games. No. Let's not call them games. That's giving them too much credit. These are literally just cinematics. Literally, what I did for the day after, it's literally just this. They just made cinematics for very specific little things. I don't think they actually made a game. Is there a game? Is there gameplay? Is there any gameplay? Official features overview. Shooting at the ground. They ripped out the GTA RP UI and so they ripped the UI and it's not actually in game, it's just an overlay. Oh no, it's using ALS. Oh, whatever. My drunk. Thanks for the raid. Sorry, I'm being a jackass. Looking at random what seemingly looks like scam games. It's either one of two things: extremely ambitious, or a scam, or both. It's probably both. Hey, my project uses ALS. I just don't like ALS personally. I don't like the foot locking, the footstep thing that happens, the little dance at the end. I don't like using it. I think that's one of the biggest things. After attempting to use it for my projects, I'd rather just do my own system. Like, it looks good for the most part, besides the footstepping thing. I remember when I was working on my day after project, I completely removed the foot locking system. Or not foot locking, but the little steppy thing. Because the FiveM script dev also started working on Helix. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. See how that goes. We've had many games attempt to do very similar things. Do you guys remember man, what was that one scam game? That one was, I don't know if it was necessarily a scam. It just was horrible on release. I think it didn't end up being essentially a scam though. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It was before Paradise, before everything else. It actually released partially, but it was like really broken. Anybody know what I'm talking about? It was supposed to be like an RP game. I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they did a Kickstarter, like a whole funding thing for it. Yeah. Spent hours trying to figure out why my nav mesh was rebuilding every time the player moved. Turns out the footstep decals get attached to the component by default, triggering a nav rebuild. Oh my god. Classic. Raw? This thing? No, not raw. I don't even know what this is. Oh, Identity. They showed it in the middle of that video. Identity. Is that still on Steam? The last update made by the developers was over 5 years ago. Didn't they do a Kickstarter and made like a bunch of money? is a new breed of massively multiplayer online role-playing game where hundreds of players interact in a world of absolute freedom. I think any game that uses terminologies like this, it's a huge doubt. It's a big, big doubt for me. South of Midnight mentioning how it visually looked great, but the game itself is so bland. Seems like a cash grab. South of Midnight. Oh, this game. I saw a bunch of it on ArtStation. It absolutely flooded ArtStation. I think I watched a streamer play it for like 5 minutes and then I kind of just hopped out. It seems very very artsy, you know? I think a lot of games, though, nowadays are kind of being bland. Yeah, let's be real. Dodging mechanics. Oh, dodging, parrying. It's kind of like same thing. Technically, Suit for Hire is literally that as well. So I'm no different. It literally has an option to just skip all combat. Not my style of game. Ever seen this game, Industria? Yes. I've been keeping an eye on the second game. It looks cool. Got a really sick vibe. Like, damn, dude. Yeah, but or happy with the third-person perspective reception? Well, we'll see when the game comes out if people hate it or not. I've been watching. That's why my stream was so late. I've been watching Northernlion play Blueprints. It looks so cool. It looks pretty cool. No, not blueprints. Blueprints. Although I do think that is their. That's why they called it blueprints. Is because it's to be like blueprints. You're making a blueprint of like a mansion, I guess. Respawn has a good philosophy for their artistic approach if it needs to serve gameplay. So if the gameplay is interesting, then the art direction can be unique. They go only into form and function, don't push it further. In terms of art, there's two games that I'm very interested in and seeing more. Black Frost and Marathon. Marathon looks so cool, dude. Look at the new trailer for Heroes of Might and Magic and explain to me how those shaders work. If you post a link, I'll look at it. But I cannot tell you how they work because I am not. You're gonna have to ask Prismatica for that, okay? Like I'm not the guy for that. All right, I ain't the guy for that. You go to me for some, I don't know, stupid takes, okay? Not for smart analysis. I've been summoned. All right, Prismatica, you're up. All right, how did they make these shaders? Why is it so low res? It's so pixelated. Is that the game? It's the game. That is the game. Actually, I think I know someone who made a kind of like splattering post-process that does this actually. I'm gonna be honest, it just looks like I'm not wearing glasses. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Are we sure the backgrounds aren't drawn? I'm sure they could be. Black Frost does a similar thing. They do kind of like very 2D, very painterly-esque stuff. It looks cool, but I'm gonna be honest. It makes my eyes hurt. At least in the cinematic sense. Like this genuinely looks like either it is compression that is compressing it a lot, and I think it is because there's so many pixels going. Let me see here. What if I go to like 2160p? That made it worse. That genuinely, I think that actually made it worse. Dude, the YouTube compression on this is not having a good time. Do 360p to blur it a bit? Yeah, let's do that. Yep. Yep. Yeah, dude, that's sick. That's sick. Like everything's. It's I don't think the YouTube compression does this justice. Mesh shelling with some scratchy texture. That's what I'm thinking. I think there is the initial mesh, and then a surrounding mesh that has its normals inverted or something. And then they do effects on that. Like you can kind of tell here, it almost looks like inverted here. That or it's a post process. I know someone I know did something very similar. It does not work well for YouTube compression though. It is like doing itself a disservice, I would say. Is it displacement? Nah, I don't know if they'd be doing displacement. Well, unless you mean like maybe they have a WPO that makes it size up a little bit to. I saw a static screenshot of it. Yeah, maybe it would look better as a static screenshot without all the YouTube compression being taken. I'd be interested. But on YouTube, it looks like it's like YouTube compression just killing the entire video. That's what it looks like. I am of the opinion. Now, this is my own opinion. This is my own personal opinion. I, to an extent, like to build my games around, or something I'd like to do for the future is I'd like to build my games around a few pillars, and one of the pillars would be how capable is it to be streamed and created content on. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the pillars I'd like to kind of focus on for my future games is how can the game I'm making be streamed, and can it be fun for both the streamer and the viewers watching? You know what I mean? That's something I'd like to think about for me personally. You can say that's a bad idea. For me, I think it's a good idea. I don't know. It looks real rough on metal surfaces, way too much noise. I think it's because it's using PBR, but then it also has that filter on top. It's just not a good combination. So, hold on. I'm here, sorry. I like sinking weeks into dumb project because it's fun and also fun to watch. For me, it's a balance. I do want to get back into making YouTube videos, but at the same time, I do want to focus still on trying to release games. But I totally get it. That's what I think Randy should get back into, but I understand that if he doesn't want to do that, then he doesn't want to do that. I really felt like Randy was able to, like, he has the ability and the humor to take on this whole, like, I would say ever since Danny basically quit YouTube, I think there has been, and no one has taken the spot, in my opinion, of taking that like little game dev niche space that has been empty. Like, I think it's still to this day, there's an empty like niche there that's like being waited to like, it's waiting for its new, for someone to take that like spot, I guess. I don't know. It's probably a bad way of saying it, but he's locking in to release the 1.0 today. Dude, I'm so unfocused. Like, get me out of here, dude. I think I noticed why people say the last days of a project can be really slow. It's because you don't have that many tasks, and I feel like you slow down, but you got to keep like the momentum going. PM me the Steamworks credentials. I'll press the button. No. Let me do it. You're like that guy in The Dark Knight on like the boat that's like taking the detonator. I'll press the button. Let me take it. I'll take it. Give it to me now. You know what I'm talking about? That one scene. The Joker thinks they're gonna press the button. Give me the detonator. All right. Next up is prop pass. We need to put some props in. And then we need to lay out some enemies. Give me access to the project. I'll be your resident C++ engineer. Looks up my code. You know what, man? I quit. Never mind. I'm more of a The Fire Rises guy myself. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Blowing up an entire stadium. Okay. All right. I see you. You've shown it on screen already? I've seen worse. I know you've seen worse. My code is not that bad. Some people just like to shit on it in chat because they're assholes. Yeah, I'm looking at you, random guy who shit on me that one time I was coding. You know who you are. I don't know who you are, but you know who you are. No. Don't act dumb. My bad. Sorry, dude. I'm making everybody in chat accidentally feel like conscious about what they've said. I'd shit myself if I had to deploy crim code. No, you wouldn't. You'd read my code and you'd be thankful because my code is actually readable. It's legible. For the most part. Teach their own. The important thing is to finish. It's true, though. I feel like there's so many, like, programming YouTubers and whatnot that, like, or just individuals in general that will, like, look at a project and be like, look how bad the code looks like. It's like a AAA project. It's like, look how bad it looks. Blah, 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 blah. And they shit on it. But without any context. There's no context behind it. They don't understand what the timeline of the project was, budgets, etc. They're just like, yeah, I'm gonna shit on this thing. Still remember when people were trying to shit on Balatros code. They would hate AAA code. Yeah, I think without calling out a specific name, but I am going to call a specific name because I think it is partially that. I think it's kind of like a Jonathan Blow echo chamber. Like I agree with him to an extent with some code it's really bad. But at the same time, like, at the same time, I don't know. I'm not as good as Jonathan Blow. Let me get this. Let's get this fucking straight. He's definitely a smart dude. He's a very smart dude. But I think there's like a cult going on. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of that. I actively fought against terrible code practice WDB. Some people just don't clean their stuff up. Some games straight up are probably losing performance from too many logs. Yeah, no, like I think there should be a standard at the very least. I think JB is just going for like a higher standard than like what I would consider as like, you know, relatively clean, good, readable, scalable code for you to be able to work on it if you need to work on it, not some like completely locked down code behind like the most technological, the most technical implementation. Like don't get me wrong, I've worked with some bad code and it's bad, but I think there's, just like anything, there's two sides of bad. You have bad because just like not giving a shit, and then you have the nice middle, or you have bad because it's like over engineered because you got a guy that says it needs to be this way because it's the most optimized thing ever, and then you can't work on it anymore. I'm still on step one, make it work. Hey, dude, that's the best step to stay on. Honestly, you don't need to go higher than that. Like, let's be real. If it works for you and you're able to read it and you're able to understand it, that's all that matters. And your team members, if you have any team members, right? Did I tell you I had a personal argument with JB? I think you mentioned, someone mentioned something about it, but I think in this case I'm not really talking about JB himself specifically, but more so the people that cultishly follow JB. I think once you go into cult-like behavior, I think everything dwindles. Because then at that point, you're not building up your own opinions. You're just kind of trying to. It's like you need like a fucking parent to like tell you what you should be thinking. It's like you don't need that. I'm gonna think my own shit. Rewrote mass in my own ECS system because it's too hard to work with. I think that's fine to do that. I think it's perfectly fine to do that, especially at that point. Then you at least know what your code is doing. A lot of UE systems, I don't know what it's doing under the hood. Like the AI nav mesh and all that kind of stuff, I hate it because I feel like 90% of the time I don't know what it's doing, and then I feel like my character does weird. My enemies start doing weird things, and that's one thing I'd like to do for my next projects is start diving more into C++ and just overall figure out the unknowns that I have with UE, so then that way I can overcome those problems. It's just, I remember when I was looking at the UE source code myself, there's a lot of moving parts. This derives from this file, then you got to look at that file to look at what it's doing, and then look at this stuff, and then it goes into like really deep dive stuff in certain subjects that I just don't understand. It's like, it's a lot for my feeble mind to handle, but I would like to figure it out. Just make a custom engine. Here's the thing. I really don't like what some of the things UE is doing. However, I would not be able to make a custom engine. One, I don't have the skills. And two, I would end up just essentially recreating Unreal, but just probably more buggy. So, at the end of the day, it just would not be beneficial for me to even do that at all. Hold on, I feel like I missed a few messages. 99% of writing good code is just using more functions. The other 1% is giving functions good names. I agree. I actually agree with that. It's actually really funny. I actually kind of agree with that. I feel like 90% of it is just naming things correctly, not naming a variable. Variable one. Like, motherfucker, don't. Are you stupid? Like, naming things correctly, so then when you have to look back at it or someone else has to look back at it, they can just read your code and then know what's going on just by reading it, just looking at the functions. I think that was something I read that, like, that was like some of the things that id Tech, like some of their like philosophies on good code. I agree with that. Like, you should be able to just read the code and the function names and kind of just understand the code just by reading that. Variable poop function. This fucking sucks. Output this shit. At one of my works, there was a person that would do that. They would like name the variables weird things or write extremely personalized like comments and stuff like that. And it almost looked like they like took over the code with their own like stuff. It felt weird. It felt very weird. Am I making a new game? Not yet. We're not there yet. We're not at the stage of euphoria yet. Finishing this fucking game. We're getting there. You know, we're getting there. I haven't finished a single level in 2 months. Why is that? What'd you do? What happened? All right, let's place some glass in here because I'm watching you, brother. Get to work, man. Put me on the secondary monitor. Come on. Let's be real, man. You're gonna look back, and then you're gonna probably hate me because you could have gotten things done, but you didn't because you watched my boring stream. Listen, this ain't no Kai Cenat, you know, like some crazy, like Drake's not gonna randomly walk through the door and like say, yo, what's good and whatever. Like, that's not gonna happen. Don't worry. You it's don't worry, nothing like that's gonna happen. John Nanite might, he's gonna fucking punt me in the face, dude. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, shit. Like, that's what's gonna happen. All of a sudden, big lights start turning on. You hear like an audience and everything, a whole crowd. Yeah, that's some WWE shit right there. I randomly saw a YouTube comment that made me want to puke. They were like, I'd rather not listen to this guy who actually goes into details, like Dallas Drapeau, and they'd rather watch John Nanite's videos because they condense it into 5 minutes. And then at that point, I was like, maybe Jonathan Blow is right. Maybe we're fucking cooked. maybe we, you know, maybe we are cooked. Actually, now I think about it, they'd rather watch John Nanite's optimization tips than someone that goes into the details. So funny. John Nanite's videos are like half an hour though. I don't think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 basic optimization tips from that person's channel. Other than that though, I don't see the optimization tips. It just looks like them bashing shit. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. They're not saying this could be better by doing insert thing here. It's like, this is bad. This is bad. John Nanite, John Blizzard, now John Blow. They're all called John. What's wrong? What happened? You need to put Subway Surfers next to your content? I got you. This is the equivalent of Subway Surfers. Is there a reason you can't add the glass to the frame in a blueprint? Is it just to do with this? I can. The only problem is that then creates it as a child actor. And child actors are extremely annoying to deal with. They're annoying to deal with. I feel like they're extremely buggy. So in this case, I just kind of do as a separate object. It's actually really funny to come across John Nanite's post in the Unreal Dev forums asking how to do the most basic of things in UE. I read through some of his forum posts that he, by the way, on his YouTube channel tried to say that that was not him. He tried to talk in the third person, which was weird. There's some really unhinged comments in there. I will say though, Johnny, I do think I could have made the glass breaking system. I could what am I trying to look for? My words. I could make this in a very like Source engine-esque way where I could give it a like give anything that's glass a child component, because the thing is we don't destruct the glass based off of the mesh. The only thing the mesh needs is to have CPU access. That is the only thing that allows this to work. So that's the only thing. The rest of it works off of Niagara. So in theory, any object could be considered as glass. I technically I don't need to have a whole blueprint specifically just for this. I could make it as a component. There's definitely ways I could improve this, for sure. There's definitely ways I could improve it and just make it way better. Definitely ways I could probably make it way better. There's always ways I can make things better. Just wondering, would you ever be looking for help with 3D art or level art? Maybe in the future, but not at the moment. I actually had a few environment artists, and I think one of them just finalized one of the final levels. So for this project, I don't need any. However, for maybe for future projects, I don't know. I use a lot of marketplace assets, I'm going to be honest. I use a lot of marketplace assets. One could say I'm asset flipping. Yep, you could say that. You could. Anyways, let's take off the Subway Surfers footage. Let's see how this level's looking. Where are we at? Tokyo, sashimi. Accept mission. Freeze the game. Oh man, my posture is really bad. Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. I just like watching game devs. It's like my ASMR. Hopefully I'm not too loud. I do get loud at times, which I'm sure is anti-ASMR. I will admit, I'm a little bit louder than a lot of the other game devs, I think. I'm a bit of a... I can be a bit rowdy, I suppose. Goodbye, door. Oh, that was so close. To me saying goodbye, me. All right. Looking good. This outside area, not a huge fan of it, but this we could. Oh man, this needs something on the edge here. This needs something. You know what I mean? It's so blue. It's so blue. You know what hurts, Krim? Seeing Luke Stevens and Asmon gobble that John Nanite nonsense up. I don't know who Luke Stevens is, and honestly, if Luke Stevens and Asmon are two names that are combined together, I don't think I want to know about them. If they're two names that are combined, probably not some sort of signage. Maybe we put an ad along the edge of this wall. That could be kind of cool. I don't chat a whole lot, but I can put on your Prismatic Dev and go to town with work. Hey, hell yeah! I'm glad you're able to at least focus, and hopefully the stream helps in some way. They're both gaming talk heads, but I don't think they have much in common. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Oh, okay, alright. Someone trying to chill and work, and then all of a sudden they just hear gunshots and glass breaking for like 15 minutes straight. Here, I'll allow it, but we don't like that word. We don't like to use that word. It's John Nanite. That's the code word here. Watches threat actor God, why? I'm saying the name. John Nanite. Oh. Duh! Yeah. John Fortnite. No, that's Timmy Sweeney. John Fortnite is Timmy Sweeney. So I do like the idea of an ad being along the edge. Let's, hey, maybe one day we will work on Ronin. So let's just, hey, cross marketing. Let's go, Pog. So I got some fake windows here. Imagine having an office and like there's a whole like electrical billboard blocking your entire view. Yep, that's the future, baby. that's the future. Okay, cool. So we can at least see a little bit of a building over there. It's a little better than just a flat thing, you know what I mean? But it would be cool to see some like cars driving by. Wish they asked devs for a second opinion. The problem is that specific YouTuber is playing a lot into emotion. And even if they asked devs for a second opinion, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the end product of them learning things from the devs doesn't change how their games look. Their games are still going to look like shit to them. It's not like them now knowing information from a dev is going to magically fix anything for them. So I think it's just a losing battle. The only thing I can do is at least notify people that that specific YouTuber is grifting, is specifically doing false DMCAs and sending cease and desists to try to silence people due to criticism on their content. That's the only thing I can talk about. I'm not going to talk about why games look like shit or anything like that. I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care because those are not my problems. My problems are my games, what I do with my games. That is my problem. That's my direct problem. What can I do to improve the look of my games? An advocate for fair arguments and proven results. And unfortunately, Phoenix, in this world with humanity, that's a recipe for going crazy. Because you just when someone's on a emotional kind of like when there's something there, like it's gonna be very difficult for you to impress them. And even if you do, and even if they somehow are like, okay, you win the argument, I don't think it's or not win the argument, but you know what I mean. They'll still have the opinion that they have, and that's just I think it just kind of follows my mindset of how I've been as an adult, which is I'm going to control what I can control, and I'm not going to try to change the things that I can't control, I guess. Yeah, car lights would be sick. I know there's a asset, there's a project, there's an Epic project that has that. I'm trying to think of what they did. I think they did like a Niagara particle effect, and it just moves forward. And that could be kind of sick. John Nanite did that, but he only talked with those that confirmed biases rather than contributed to the conversation. Dude, John Nanite literally used, is Prismatica here? John Nanite literally used a comment that Prismatica made on his YouTube channel once out of context to be like, look, here's this popular developer on Unreal that supports the whatever supports our cause, I guess. It's a complete echo chamber. That's it. Which I think is very contributing to the aspect that I think is full on grifting. It's taking advantage of a specific subset of people that are very emotional, and rightfully so. It's fine to be emotional about what's going on with some graphics in some games. I'm not disagreeing with that. Taking advantage of them unknowingly, and let's build some lighting, and trying to get money out of them. Yeah. You know, Moon. Ooh, yeah. Burp. A fire escape? That is true. A fire escape could be sick on the side. That would look pretty sick. I like the idea of that. I'm gonna open this. Oh. Yeah, that was about to probably erupt in my shirt. Like a really spiky bit sticking out. The product and ArcViz guy, I'm also getting to know UE5's limits, and I know if something is slow, it's probably my fault. Production models can be loaded in UE5 though, but it's ridiculous. It's a both people's thing, I think. But there's also just not enough public information released by Epic to really know what's going on the rendering pipeline side in UE5 sometimes. So it's kind of like, that'd be nice to have a bit more information on what's going on. But I think the thing is, probably one of the reasons as to why there's not that much information on what's going on behind the scenes with all the CVARs and everything is I bet you some of the original developers that were working on some of the big rendering stuff in UE don't work at Epic anymore. I think that's a huge contributing factor to the problem. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. is that some of the people that were there working on such integral things probably just don't work there anymore. I would not doubt that is one of the big problems right now. And then someone's just being thrown in to figure it out and piece it all together, I guess. Or maybe they just don't have it. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, even though I've been using this engine for 10 years, I'm still like a newbie. I'm just like a noob. Big noob. Big noob. Some of the lighting in these areas I'm not a huge fan of. Also, it just feels really dark still. Even with the amount of lights we put in. So we might want to put more lights or increase the radiuses of some of these lights. Thing is, I just don't want to make it too bright. Like here, this is pretty bright. You know what I mean? It's kind of a different vibe than what we had before. And in some instances, I'm not sure why it's so bright. I'm starting to think actually it might be the floor. It's got a Fresnel effect on it that I think actually might not be what we want. Museum flooring darker. Darker 2. I think it is that Fresnel. That Fresnel's too bright. Just a straight up basic Fresnel. Let's do this. We'll clamp it. Not sure if this is the best way of going about it, but we'll just clamp it. So that way I can't get too bright. See, look at that. That looks so much more readable in third person. That looks a lot better. Let's do that. I think that looks better in third person. However, in top down now, though, it's too dark now. I want to say this uses the same material, though. Okay, good. I think this is a good middle ground. I have a model with 8 UDIMs and height data, and can actually handle it. I'm surprised UE does. I guess UE can do UDIMs now, I suppose. Or I guess it was always somewhat able to. I guess it was always somewhat able to. Not the only one names stuff darker, darker 2 and 3. I don't know how else to name it. My naming is not great, but it's what I got. You know what I mean? It's what I got. It'd be cool to have like a wall. Some of these areas, some of these walls could be like a brick wall. It could be kind of sick looking. But a brighter one. So let's duplicate this. Tiled 6. Does this have masking? It does. Good. But let's make it kind of blend in with the rest of the wall. Almost like it was a similar paint. Cool. I like that idea. Kind of breaks things up a little bit. Uh-oh, I just closed it when the color picker was gone. That's going to cause a bug later. And then I got these kind of like wood things that I think would work well for the vibe that I want to go for here. If I can find it. If I can find it. I don't think I named it something very well. It was kind of like early dev that I made this weird object. It's probably in city. No, mansion. Where's mansion? M for mansion. Here it is. Ah, beams destructible. Fancy beams. There we go. We could do the destructible ones, but who cares? We'll do something like this. Very Nordic kind of style. It was on. You can have multiple UV layouts, but you can also lay them out as an atlas, and there's some plugins to help with the signing. Interesting. We have a dictionary with colors that are used in the UI, and some of these colors are so close to each other that I use a website that gives you a name off of an RGB value. Ever heard of an Oxley or French lilac color? I don't know. I haven't seen enough Bob Ross to know what those colors are. Haven't seen enough Bob Ross to know what that is. Let's change the wood. I want to make it like a very bright wood, because that's kind of the vibe I think I've seen with a lot of kind of Japanese style interiors. They really like these kind of like bright woods. Ever heard of Crimson? It's a dark spectrum red. Never heard of it. Sounds like a cool color. I think I've come to learn, I actually don't think I like Crimson Red, but I actually prefer Cyberpunk Pink / Cyberpunk Red. You guys ever heard of that color? I don't think it's a real color. I just made it up. But that color's cool. That's a cool ass color. That's a cool one. Let me tell you, that's a cool one. Cyber Pink, yeah. Yeah, Cyberpunk Pink. It's like 358 on the hue, 357, 356. Very close to red, but goes into pink. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a cool color. I like that one. Yeah. Construction Orange is pretty good. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. I think it's called Amaranth, not the streamer. You mean the Cyberpunk Pink? No, it's called Cyberpunk Pink. I like Follow Me Yellow. It's a good one too. What the hell is Follow Me Yellow? Does it mean that Krim has gone woke? Hey, what a blues. Oh, Follow Me Yellow. Yellow paint. Okay, I see what you're saying. You mean yellow paint in games. You know, Stalker, you can turn off yellow paint, but safety ladders are universally yellow. It's what they should have done in Resident Evil. Should have just done yellow ladders, but the paint peeling off to keep that kind of effect. That would have been that would have that's what they should have done. Gosh, what they should have done. Lost potential. Should we just keep the wood just on one side of the level? I think it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. I need to know, what is this effect called? Do you guys see this on stream right now? How it kind of looks like there's circles forming because of, like, I think either pixels fighting, and this happens with fences that have too many, like, chain links and stuff like that. What is the term for that? Moir. 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 And that's usually an undesirable visual effect, right? You can fix it with more pixels. Moire. Moire. Moire? Moire. Is a pattern formed by 2 units of parallel lines, 1 unit rotated 5 degrees clockwise relative to the other. Yeah, that's what it is. Ah! We all know the success of a game is inversely proportional to the clothing in female characters. You know, you may be onto something. Have you seen Marvel Rivals? Have you seen Marvel Rivals? Dan Harmon would never have Moir in his games. I don't. Dan Harmon. Why does that name seem so familiar? Why does that name seem so familiar? Yeah. It's definitely not a desirable effect when it happens. Like here, this probably looks the worst. Like if we look at it from an angle like this, it gets pretty ugly. Co-creator of Rick and Morty. Oh, yeah. I don't remember what it was connected to, though, that specific subject. Yeah. I know this is something you generally, when it comes to like chain link fences, you generally want to do effects as you get farther away from the chain link fence that like either scales up the chain links or hides them or like changes their like blending or whatever, so that you avoid an effect like this. But when it comes to geometry, how do you avoid that effect if it's geometry? I guess in this case, all of the wood panels are all the same UV, which is really bad. So maybe that's contributing to the effect. Them not having a different, that might be what it could be there. Oh, it's because you guys thought Dan Harmon looked like me. Right. Yeah, I think in this case, this is a case of just all of the UVs being the same. I think that's what this is. Anyways, I'm not gonna get too anal about it. Where else do we potentially want to do this effect? I kind of like the idea of brick walls being here. I really do like the idea of brick walls being over there. DLSS does make it less noticeable, so that's something. Yeah, because it turns into one big. Although, based on what I've been hearing, DLSS does work a lot better, and I think I've started using it in Marvel Rivals. It actually does look fine. Actually, that's not true. I think it randomly turned on DLSS without me knowing, and then I turned it off. Doesn't look as good over there, I will say, especially because it's stretched. I will say. I'll say. I do say. I do say. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Doesn't look good on its own. Maybe we can have. Am I on the right level? Okay, good. That was gonna suck. Okay, that's kind of cool. If we're going for a tatami, yeah, we're not really going for that kind of Japanese style anymore. We were initially at the very beginning of the conception of this conception. Now it's cyberpunk-esque Japanese office style. Now I don't know what mafia would or what kind of yakuza would have an interior like this for an office, but you know, listen, I'm not judging. Listen, we don't judge, all right? Listen, they got plants here. They like plants. Big fans of plants. Now it's a whatever we can make with it to be done. Actually real though. Yeah, it yeah, it is. It actually kind of like is that though. Like without joking. Jokes aside. Like I just kind of want to be over this. Listen, we got better things to do. I don't think anyone's going to just psychoanalyze what this level's supposed to be and whatnot. You know, like Japanese Merle type wall assets? I would, but like I'm so fucking lazy. I know just the kind of like thing that would go so well in here too, but let's put a hedge in the fucking wall. Let's put a hedge in the wall. An interior hedge. You've never seen it before, but it's here. And it's here now. Actually, you guys have probably seen this. You guys know how like you see these kind of style places that have these kind of like hedges with like a bunch of leaves coming out of the like this kind of wood style thing. You guys ever seen something like that? I swear I've seen like clubs do that. Never been to a club. I've seen concepts of stuff like that. Me and Minecraft back in the day. Oh man. How about one of those sand beds with the rakes? Oh, you're talking about, I know what you're talking about. I do not have anything like that. I don't know where we would put that. Now, we could put some modern art in here. I think that would work really well. My previous company went full-on eco-friendly to bait in more investors. It's really crazy that we're in a timeline where anytime someone does something eco-friendly, in reality, it's not them being eco-friendly for the world, just for more money. That's the timeline we're in now. That's where we're at. My interpretation, maybe they're doing it for environment, though I highly doubt it. No, when you really start like looking into it, you start finding out, oh wait, there's a tax. There's like a tax relief for corporations to do stuff like that. Like, is that rope a spline? No. It is as basic as it gets. It's quite literally one static mesh that creates the pole and then another static mesh that just stretches itself. So if I go over the top with this, it's, you know, you can see it getting really ugly. So it's quite literally just a static mesh stretching towards a specific location. Super, super basic, but it works. And it looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. It's like this office is almost a museum in and of itself, which I would imagine would happen. I could see that happening. So the player dives through this window, and then they're kind of encountered by a very open area. So what I'm thinking is maybe we take some of these and kind of separate the area a little bit, because we could see this as almost like a little cafe kind of area. So I think this could actually work pretty well. Doing something a little bit like this. See, this is where one of those tools I was thinking about would be so fantastic. I haven't been reading YouTube chat. I'm so sorry. Anti-aliasing issue. Try to smooth out the TSR. I don't think UE4 has TSR. But I also wouldn't want to rely on a specific anti-aliasing setting because I like to make it so players can adjust which anti-aliasing they use. Personally, for me, I like to just use, at least in UE4, I like to use FXAA. TAA, for me, just blurs everything so much. Now, we can counteract that with some sharpening. I don't like the look of it. I like a little bit of sharpening, even with FXAA, but... Yeah, so what I would want to do is I want to make a tool. It's going to probably be a part of the Crimson Toolkit. Yeah, the Crimson Toolkit. Wait, what were we going to call it? No, we were going to call it the God Mode Toolkit, the GMTK. One of the tools I wanted to make is you could select multiple objects or a singular object. It would create a blueprint on top. That's like a temporary blueprint. And then I would love to make it so it like creates a box, like a bounding box over all the objects. And then you have different pivot points to like drag the object around. That'd be so sick. So then you could put your gizmo would end up here. So then you can drag things. So this would stay here, but then you can drag it to the right. Why isn't that a thing? You know what I mean? It's like, what would you call that? They have things like that for modeling, but it's usually for like spline adjustments. Verbs? You guys know what I'm talking about? Someone knows what I'm talking about. Curbs? Nerbs. Why do they call it that? The fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean? That's a made up word. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I would love to have like my own internal bounds scaling thing. I think that would be so handy. Yeah, like a little bit like a lattice modifier. Yeah, something like that. Exactly. I'm like so perplexed that we don't have something like that. Maybe in UE5 they do. But I feel like it's in edit mode, and then you edit the entire model, which is like not what you want. I gotta check out UE5, especially UE 5.6. How is that not a thing in UE? Unreal. I know, right? Dude. Crazy. It's unreal. Literally and figuratively. Like, I haven't replied to... They're making some edits to the modeling tools in UE5, which I'm very happy that they're attempting. But we need to stop with like the buttons and the drop downs and all this stuff. Like we need to stop. And this isn't like a new problem. This has been around for the longest time. Doing any sort of modifying of mesh or anything in UE is horrendous. I don't like this toolbar personally. I'll get used to it, just like any change that they make. I think I'm understanding why they're making these UI changes is to potentially open up the toolbar for other things. I think that's potentially why they made this change. But it's just like everything is like there's no hotkeys. Everything is found in drop downs and in buttons, and like the new gizmo. I understand it's a multi-gizmo. Actually, no, it's not a multi-gizmo. This is just the default gizmo. I thought it was a multi-gizmo because we have an object there. I thought this was a multi-gizmo. This is actually just the default gizmo. That thing looks like ass. Like everything is buttons. I would not, whenever people are like, hey, can you do modeling in UE? I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Only do it for like very basic things, or unless you're using like a plugin like Scythe or something like that, then sure, go for it. I don't know, dude. Let's see. Do they have something like that? Is there maybe something? There's an X form. The thing is that I don't like about modeling mode is I feel like it affects the source mesh, whereas in sometimes I don't want it to affect the source mesh. I want to just do something for a singular actor component in the scene. I wonder, maybe there is something. I gotta look at UE5 again. I don't use it enough. I gotta look back at UE5. Also, I have a weird problem. Why are these metal support beams so difficult to see? Like, I'm pretty sure I have a reflection capture in here, and yet it's still impossibly dark. Is my metal trim sheet just too dark? Do I have a brighter version of this? Metal trim sheet, high emissive. Painted metal trim white. Let's see, actually, that could be kind of cool. It's still really dark. Something's just not right with this. I think the normals are messed up or something. You show my albedo. The albedo is a little bit darker than I'd like. It's definitely a little bit darker than I would generally like for but even in the base color, that's not that bright, man. That's like middle 0.5 value, I think. No, but in the unlit, it's like, I don't know. That doesn't seem that dark to the point where it becomes pitch black. Like, it doesn't feel that dark enough to make it almost pitch black. And our normal map is normal map. Our RMAO is sRGB. This is Prismatica stream now. It always has been. We're about to simulate the entire world. The sRGB is turned off. Yeah, it's a linear color. Linear color map. Although I guess we don't set, I don't think there actually is a thing for, I guess there's grayscale or masks. But I don't ever do that. I just turn off sRGB. Dude, some marketplace assets I've used don't turn this off. And all of their PBR materials are incorrect. It's insane. No wonder there's so many UE games that just don't look good and just have some values too high, some values too low. You know what I mean? It's awful. It could be the lighting. It could very much be the lighting. Like maybe there's just not enough light. But then you look in lighting only and like it looks fine. Like it's got some values. I've also had models with normals added to the green channel, but inverted. Yeah, all right. Let's see if maybe adding an ambient Q map could do some. I don't think so. I don't think we'd want an ambient Q map. Although, if we can make it like a blue tint, maybe. I don't think it's providing much. Do you have a recommendation for a video that explains the basics on these modeling concepts? Modeling as in like what, 3D modeling? Make a donut? I don't think the donut tutorial is all that beneficial unless you specifically just want to work in Blender. And maybe it could be like a beneficial starter, but I honestly think the best starter is just get into the Blender and just try to model things. Like look at your desk or any objects in your house and just try to model it. Just try. Like start with very simple primitives and just bevel. It might not look pretty. You slowly learn how to tackle issues one by one. You know what is great for learning? Long videos from Polygon Highway. Polygon Highway. Polygon Highway. Why can't I find their channel? I just searched it up and I see Polygon Bikes, China Cycling. Wait, did I search this up? Oh, Polygon Runway. I don't think I've ever looked at this channel before. Yeah, I don't think I have. I like their thumbnails though. They clearly have an eye for art and style and design, so some of the pieces are cool. I don't know who I would recommend for like straight up like raw modeling tutorials. Check the world normals. Could be the world normals actually. See the normals. World normals. I don't know. That looks correct based off of the wall that we can see there. It doesn't look inverted. It doesn't look like anything crazy is going on. Now, I will say the ceiling doesn't look very good because it's inverted. It's literally -1, which I shouldn't do. I know. I should not -1 the z-axis or anything in that matter. I know. But I'm so lazy and I don't want to make the ceiling properly. I'm looking for a door. I find one on an NASA store and make one. How do I know all the UV and shit are fucked up? When you slap a texture on it and it looks fucked up, then you know it's fucked up. That's when you know. Do I have them overlapping? I don't think they're overlapping, no. It could... What could it be? Yeah, I don't know. Do we have distance fields in here? I don't think it matters. We have cascaded shadow maps, which is a bit weird. I don't know why we have cascaded shadow maps, but... Oh, we have a specified cube map in here, and this is probably a dark spot. That's probably... It seems to be what's going on. That looks like the shadows. That is the shadows from the skylight. It's the distance field ambient occlusion. Which then begs the question, what does this distance field mesh look like? Brother, what happened to it? It lost its girth. what happened to it? It's the distance field. I was like thinking, maybe it's the distance field mesh. Is it a scaling issue? It could be. I think what we'll probably end up doing is just increase the distance field resolution scale of this. And that should, in theory, hopefully give us a better result. It looks a little bit more representative. Don't know if that'll like 100% fix the issue. I think the problem is that it's just such a small object. I don't know if two-sided would fix this. I don't even know what two-sided even like necessarily does. Let me, we'll try turning it on and off. Try lowering the distance field resolution scale again. Okay, apparently that is now doing nothing. Interesting. I think it's the skylight distance. It's the max distance in here. Do multiply. Your piece of harmless. Have a good one. Now this is all distance fields causing it, it would seem. Because if I turn off, let's put a little minimum occlusion on this. Just doesn't look like it's impacting it as much as I would think it would. See, if I turn off cast shadows on the skylight, we don't see that problem anymore. But we do lose on we do lose out on some of our nice DFAO. Our nice distance field ambient occlusion. What we can do is we can turn off effect distance fields in here. And that'll fix it a little bit. At least won't look extremely dark anymore, which is good. Build lighting. We could put a light for each of the beams, but it's like trying to fix the problem with duct tape. Yeah, let's just go. Yeah, all right. Just throw this in here and hope for the best. Yeah, on the subject of blueprints, it looks good, man. It looks like a very intriguing game. I really like the loop. Going around, opening up doors or rooms, and then having to like strategically walk between rooms. Very interesting. I had an idea for a game. So essentially taking the idle clicking game and making it so there's a concept of like, so I had this idea where it was kind of like just a very chill idle game, but then I was like, what if we add some leveling up and gear and some like a little bit of combat? You know what I mean? What if we have a little bit of combat, add a little bit of combat to the game? You have this idea where you just click on trees and you break them down, you gain like access to stuff. And then what if like at some point you build like a harbor and you can have a boat that can go to another island. And then that island, you can take over that island and like new resources open up to you, new like tech can open up to you. But the only way for you to take over that island is to first do like a combat sequence. And if you mess up the combat sequence, you like can't go to that island anymore. That could be like a really cool gameplay loop. I feel like that could be kind of sick. I feel like that sounds like it. I was thinking about it while I was making my coffee this morning. I was like, that could be pretty sick. And by this morning, I mean this afternoon. It's kind of mixing in some chill idle moments, and it's like, and then when you feel like expanding or something like that beyond just the idle, and then kind of like the management stuff that you're making, and you know, obviously there'd be concepts of like, I guess, having things that automate for you to an extent, I suppose. And you like expand into different islands, and then you like build up your world map and you can go between the islands. I feel like that could be kind of sick. You start building up like a platoon or something. And then it could be interesting, maybe instead of you being able to directly use the resources, you have to send resources from island to island. So you could like automate boats, shipping. So you could have like one island that like has like a rare like ore or something. I don't know. That could be kind of interesting. I feel like that goes too in depth. Not very idle anymore. but goes a little too much. Sounds like a cool mini project for 3 years. It probably would be it probably would be a year minimum. Definitely probably would be a year minimum. I would do like a very simple art style, which I think would be more complimentary of what I kind of want to do with it. I have an idea too. Can I bounce it off of you? Sure. The idea of an idle game getting less idle as it expands is interesting. It's more like it has elements of non-idle, of like kind of doing a little bit of strategy, little combat sequences, kind of turn it a little bit like RTS tower defense kind of style. I don't want to make it where you are like controlling characters though. It's more like you just place things, you break down trees, break down ores by like doing it yourself, and then you slowly build up towards like machinery and whatever doing it for you. Or maybe you like level up your like, maybe you have like a hot bar of like tools and you use those tools and you can like level up those tools and whatnot. I feel like that could be kind of cool. It could go in the direction of a roguelite, but I like the concept of mixing in roguelite elements with permanent progression in a save run. I think some people like that. I think what could be interesting is maybe you have like a hardcore mode where if you like fuck up a combat sequence, it's like that's game over, I guess. That could be kind of like the idea there. The only problem with idle games is I feel like people expect a shit ton of content. Like an enormous tech tree that like hundreds of hours of content. That's my worry with that kind of game. Is that now? Of course, we could go like go in interesting directions where it's like maybe we have like fishing and you gain fishing and then like whatever. You know what I mean? Like we start including elements like that. We could go RuneScape style where it's like when you mine things, you gain little gems and those gems provide like unique upgrades, but you need to like find those gems. So there's a little bit of grinding involved. If we can make it fun, I think that would be more beneficial. My game, I have an extinct society, has crazy tech. I would collect data. I'm going to have a decryptor that decrypts the data over time. You can increase the speed by investing in new computers. You also need to research from said data. Okay, so it's a loop of decrypting, learning from that data, and then upgrading the data to speed it up even more, I guess. Yeah, a little bit of an idle mechanic. That the concept of Ouroboros kind of gameplay. I feel like if that's actually I feel like that's a very good I feel like that's a very good way of describing idle games. Is it's Ouroboros. It's just an Ouroboros. It keeps eating its own tail. That's basically what it is. You build off of a mechanic that then builds off of something else, and then that builds off of something else, and then the whole fun fad is done in overtime to do new things with games. Well, I always look at it instead of it being fun. I just look at it as just being entertaining and engaging and whatnot. I think for the idle game, if I were to go through with that concept, I would just want it to be fulfilling, getting to an end point, and then being able to still continue it in some way if you wanted to by like taking over more islands and whatnot. Maybe you just have achievements and stuff like that. I think the hardcore aspect makes it more interesting, but I know not all players like that kind of game. It's a kind of game structure, especially for an idle game. They kind of like that concept of having a permanent progression that they can go back to and whatnot. Yep. 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 Oh, yep. Yep. The next big thing is boring, unengaging games with rehashed assets.
This sounds like it's a reference to something, Big Imp. Is there? Do you have some? Do you want to share with the class what you? What, there's something pent up in here. I can tell. There's some sort of reference to something in there. No? Okay. All right. I don't know what my next game's going to be. Next game could be that game, that idea, the idle game kind of thing. Could be Ronin. Could be straight to the zombie roguelite. I don't know. It could just be multiple games. I could just say, fuck it, and let's just work on multiple things. What about a series of quick and dirty prototypes? I don't know, man. I don't 100% believe in prototypes because I think some game concepts require more beyond what some people would define within the confines of a prototype. But yeah. Like, for example, a combat game like Ronin, I feel like it's not something that you can just prototype, especially games like that. It's one of those things that you just keep working on it. What does no backseat game deving mean? It just means don't try to like tell me what to do, I guess, unless I'm asking for help. Okay. This looks nice. However, the light map's not so nice. Oh, no wonder. It's because it's extremely low res. And it's got 50 million material instances. Huh? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Look at this. This is like 40 draw calls. What the hell is this? What the hell? That's funny. Let's keep it in. Hey, you gotta keep people's computers on their toes. All right, someone remind me to optimize that later. Did I re-import it every time I place a new one? I think what I did is I used UE's internal system to like combine things, but I think I must have used the wrong setting because it still has this. However, they're all using the same material slot. So I actually don't know if it's actually 40 draw calls because of the sections or if it's using the material slots. As a draw call. Would this be considered as one draw call because it's using the same material slot? I think you should remove that rule. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I should remove that rule. I think the no backseat deving is a good rule for everyone. Okay, that should improve it a little bit. My pillars are back to being full black again. Even though we changed the skylight. So maybe it wasn't the DFAO. Maybe it's not the DFAO then. Maybe it is. I don't know. No, we turned off DFAO in the objects. These beams are weird, man. Beams are weird. Just weird, man. They're weird. They're weird. I don't know if it was backseat, but I hate it. It got me kind of furious. It's okay. I think though it's probably just one. I think it might just be one draw call though because it only has one material slot. Because they're all using the same material slot. I actually don't know. This could be a good case of of profiling. Maybe we could profile it to see if it actually is using more. I'd be curious to see. What are you working on? It's a top-down action shooter. Here's some gameplay. Woo! Yeah! Could it be in the hands every material instance copy is the same? That's the thing. I think it could be because it's just one singular material slot. So I don't know. I don't know if it considers every section as a draw call or if it considers every material slot as a draw call. I'm uncertain. I don't know. Ask AI. It's not going to fucking help. I don't trust AI for questions like that. You know what I do trust? The profiler. I'll just profile it. If I find myself needing to look into it, I'll just profile it. Yep. Chat GPT. How do I finish my game? Just throw it in the fucking trash. That's how you finish it. Hell yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's just it's a top-down shooting game. Working on it for 4 years. This should be a bottle of fucking vodka, okay? Like I should be an alcoholic by now. Let's be completely real. 4 years on this top-down shooter game, I should be an alcoholic by now. It's kind of magical that I'm not. I should be addicted to alcohol by now because of how crazy this it makes me. You don't have what it takes to be an alcoholic? Hey, you can't. Don't tell me what to do. You probably don't even drink sour beer. What would sour beer be? What would that be called? That wouldn't be like dark ale, right? What is sour beer? It's just sour beer. Okay, but like a cider? Like a green apple cider beer? Like a green apple beer? I've drank those before. I like them. Sort of. Some studios take longer and they produce slop. Yeah, but at least their game looks better visually. All right, looks all right. I wonder. Okay, call me crazy. Could the ceiling have an impact on the object? Well, no, that's the distance field, so that's okay. Never happy? I am not ever happy with my games, to be fair. So, to be fair, I am not exactly the happiest person with my own games. Okay, so let's get some tables. We'll make this kind of like a cafeteria area, I suppose. Let's get a vending machine up in here. Vending machine. Vending machine. This also counts as cover, which is fantastic. Let's also get a table up in here for like food and stuff. I don't want to put it too close to the window. Coffee. Let's get a coffee machine up in here. Oh, yeah. Yes. Hell yeah. Brew up a pot, Joe. Let's get a fucking pot going. Hell yeah. Donuts? Let's get some donuts in here. Never mind. Let's look in this prop pack. Let's see what we can find. Hot dog stand. Pizza. Let's just put some boxes on the table. Thoughts? Let's just do that. This is so much simpler. Put some sodas. Fuck it. And then boxes for the rest of it. Cardboard box. Was that a Cinti donut? You're damn right it was. Yeah, you can puke now. It's okay. Low poly, one bevel. You know it's a Cinti asset when it looks like... Actually, no. I think this one... This table I might have edited. Yeah, this table I did edit. It probably looked way worse before. Let's see. Let's see. Did I edit it? Yep, I did edit it. I added a bit more detail to it. Okay, let's get some tables and some chairs up in here. It's going to look fantastic. Some tables, some chairs. You know, it's like an Apple workspace. Who knows what they work on? They're probably crypto scammers. I don't know. You can build up your own story behind this. And let's get some chairs up in here. Nice indoor chairs. I don't know. I never worked in an office. Who knows what kind of chairs they use here? Something like this, maybe? You can use low poly assets and realistic textures and work somehow. They look okay. I will say I think my game does have a lot of weirdness going on with like all of the like different textures being used. I think that's one big problem we have with our art style. I noticed when we have a lot more meshes that actually have texture to them, it looks a little better. Having that kind of consistency, I think, does add quite a bit. Okay, cool. Can we break the vending machine? No. No vending machine breaking. I would, but I'm just like, I can't. Does your floor have view-dependent roughness? It has some Fresnel, but I don't think it's affecting roughness. I think it is just the diffuse that's being affected, as you can tell. This level's going to look pretty good in third person, I think. It'll look good in third person. Fresnel is deceptive. Fresnel is a bit of a weird thing, but it creates some cool effects, but it's a bit hard to control how you want it to like actually do things. Sometimes it kind of just does things you don't want it to do at times, and by at times I mean I feel like often. Yeah, I'm not gonna add any vending machine stuff. Maybe past me would, but I'm so like done with this game that, like, I would do things like that. I think past me would have done things like that, but I just want to finish the game. We have so many things. I think if yeah, because we have so many things we need to work on. If I was just a guy that just did environments for a game and like someone else handled the other things, I think I'd be okay with it. But I think because of the way this is, it's kind of like, okay, gotta move forward. Be on a constant move forward vibe. Hey, peace out, Pharaoh. Have a good one. I swear there was a larger wall light. There's not. Don't do what I'm doing. I don't think this rectangular light would work. I'm doing what you're doing. Help? That's on you, man. That's on you. I can't help you. If you're doing what I'm doing, that's on you. That becomes a you problem at that point. Source height. And then we have this point light that I think is going to give off the wrong vibe. The only problem is this rectangular light is not actually not doing what I want it to do. Probably because it's so long. This entire thing is so long. It's not meant to be. I think we killed... No, we killed the point light. I actually feel like the point light is giving us a better result than the rectangular light. Screw the rectangular light. Point light. Keep it, we'll increase the intensity of it. And then the next thing I want to do is give it an actor tag. 3pp visible. Hidden in game. Give this static mesh hidden shadow. Okay, then we can reuse it. Intensity is too low. I want it to just be like a little simple vibe. We'll see how it looks when we build lighting. See how it looks when we build the lighting. I'm liking the prop pass on this area though. We need some stuff here. Potentially here, maybe a plant. Something like that. Do you know what parametric design architecture is? This kind of all remind me of similar things. Parametric design. I feel like I've heard that term before somewhere. I don't remember where. I feel like I've heard that term at some point in time. You should try using different colors for the lighting. We'll probably get to that. We'll probably get to that. I do have some colors here, some greens. Got some oranges in here as well, which I feel like is not providing enough impact, which is really annoying. Unitless. Yeah, these could probably provide a little bit more. What did I set that number to? 1000? I wish you could copy multiple or edit multiple components within actors. Is that possible? Am I overlooking a feature that like I just don't see in Unreal? Like repeating features and large patterns encompassing all of it? It sounds a little, that sounds almost, parametric design sounds a little bit like, I think I've seen it before. I think I know what it is. Doom, boom, boom, boom. I think I know what you're putting down. Rug! A rug! But I want a very basic rug. So let's go ahead and use cloth rug. It is called rug. Oh, red outside here could be kind of interesting. Yeah, just outside. I would have liked one here, but let's actually place one somewhere. Actually, maybe we could still place one here. Oh, I feel like it would look weird being on both sides. Feel like it'd be weird. Plant. A little bit of, yeah, cool. Maybe there's a way to expose component parameters to an actor, kind of like default. I looked around for that by looking through the property matrix, and I couldn't figure it out. It's maybe possible, but if it is a horrible user experience to get it working. Yeah. Yeah. Horrible experience. That's what, yeah. We gotta figure out what to do with this area too. Ay. You know what I'm gonna put over here? I'm gonna put some HVAC units to block the player from going in this direction. Or to make them avoid this direction. And instead go in the other direction. Big brain plays. Yeah, I'm a bit of a designer. Bit of a level designer, one could say. I like just 2. I think 2 works just fine. In fact, let's rotate it a little bit too. Not a big fan of that. Let's just do that. Let's also get a security light up in here. We got one over here. Do a little bit of that up there too. Uh-huh. Sick. I like that. Kind of looks a little bit like an art gallery. Well, we could assume that like this being like a gang or a Yakuza or something, they'd probably want to like hold expensive art or something in their workspace or in their office that they maybe took over. The other building, this one, could be like an art gallery. It could be. I was thinking of just making it like a traditional office, but you figure out something for sure. I think I've detailed this area enough with props and whatnot that I think it's good enough. Do I have any cubicles? I don't have any cubicles meshes. I'd love to. I think what we're gonna do is just put a bunch of desks and chairs and stuff in here. I think that's what we're gonna try to do here. There's already an art gallery level? Yeah. Yeah. This isn't meant to be just like a straight up art gallery level though. We technically have multiple kinda art gallery-ish vibe levels. We kinda have multiple. Kind of a shtick that we have. Can't get out of the art gallery vibe. I see an empty spot that I can make do with something. Something right here. Kind of empty. Technically here it's empty as well, but... Which way is our camera? This way. Maybe put a table here, and then I'd put a table with something on it over there. Or maybe like another painting. I want to grab Cinti's office pack, has some nice props. I don't want to pick up another Cinti asset. Cinti! I probably have it though. If I were to guess, I probably have it. I've made this mistake too once, mentioning Cinti. Did I go on a rant? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Listen, I'll control myself a little better. I'll control myself a little better, you know. You ranted a bit about single color taking up half a UV, which was fair. Hey, listen. It's valid. Listen, trust me, I've dealt with enough of Cinti assets to know they don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. They just figured out enough to somehow create an art style that like so many fucking indie devs use now. Ah! They've got a chokehold on the indie market. That's going into like conspiracy theorist mode. Alex Jones, but game dev edition. Dude, my computer's blowing up. I upgraded all my parts, yet I didn't reinstall Windows, to be fair. I didn't reinstall Windows when I upgraded all my parts. Yeah. But man, every time I like do like high CPU / GPU process things, my computer locks up a lot of times temporarily. Luckily temporarily, but man, it's awful. I like can't search up anything on Chrome. I can't open up a new tab. It takes forever to load. It's awful. All right, let's see how this level looks. So far, so good. Second building's looking good, but we do need to work on building A, or building 1. Building 1 needs a bit of love. Turn off GPU acceleration. I turned it off. I turned it on because I needed it for some stuff, and then I have to do this. I hate GPU acceleration. Okay, the light here is perfect. I love the light there. I love the lighting in the second building because that really shows to you like that's where you need to go. We should be able to jump to that second area here. Okay, so you have the option here. If we do that whole like challenge to not break any glass, this is perfect for us. One of these materials does not have any blending because there's no masking there. This we should have it be penetrable, otherwise the bullets are going to randomly block you, which I think kind of sucks. That doesn't have any masking. Okay. Sorry, I just love my glass breaking effect. I don't know. It's just it's so satisfying seeing the glass break into like shards and then it hits the ground. And I think one thing I'd love to fix is add more physics-based stuff. So like really make it impulse based on the direction of like what hit it. So if I dive through it, I tried to do that and I couldn't figure out the math. Make it really go in the direction that you're like breaking it in. Oh well. Yeah, I'm liking to look at this. Coming through. Little gun rack. These metal beams are still like just full on black. I might just give them a material that's not metallic. I might give them like a white or something just to make it look different. The only thing is then everything's going to look very similar. But at least it won't look like that. All of the metallics look black? They do. They do. Even these look black. And they're much brighter. I don't know what's going on. Oh. Something is definitely weird. It might just be my post-process settings or something. The skylight settings possibly. Could just be that these areas are dark. It could also be that we don't have any stationary lights. I think all the lights in here, I think every single, or mostly every single light, except for these 2 or 3, are all static lights. Do I have a reflection capture? I do have a reflection capture. I thought that would like help a bit. It helps a little bit with some specularity. You can see like the lights here because of the reflection capture, but not enough. I think it's just the lack of lights and also the fact that everything's static, so it has no specularity, capture, or anything, which is what's causing this issue. So what we could do is, let's see the point radius of this is. It's big. And it's a rectangle light, which is awful for us. Reflections only. The reflections, they look fine. Not the greatest thing in the world, but not the worst thing in the world. Like that is kind of weird. That's not great looking, but don't get me wrong, not great looking, but not enough to cause huge errors like this. So
All of our metallics, although this one's metallic and it looks fine-ish. I think it's the fact that there's no specularity for it to work off of. I think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that, because I bet you if I put a light in here, that's like a dynamic light, it'll look fine. Kind of. It's actually not that big of an improvement, even if this were just to be a stationary light. Be something in the post-process. Something's not right. Something's not right. Something's very wrong. Is it all of these balances? And I bet you it's all this shit. Probably this LUT as well. It's not that. Although I'm sure we could probably find a night LUT and it could probably look better. Just makes everything so bright. LUTs are such an interesting balance. I think the ground is black and the reflection capture and the skylight. I don't think the reflection capture is causing issues on there. I don't know how to visualize the skylight though. How could I visualize the skylight and what it's doing? I have no idea. I don't know. I always found this final image to have a really interesting, cool look to it. It almost kind of looks it looks very base color, like there's almost like no metallic roughness, but it has a cool vibe to it. Like look at this, like it has a very cool kind of vibe to it. I think like I don't know what the difference is. It's flatter, but like in a good way. It's like more flat, but in a good way. I don't know what else to say to it. I always look at some levels and I look at this and I'm like, it kind of looks cool with the way it looks. Scene color does not look different at all from final image. Looks basically the same. It does look washed out, but like in a good way, I feel like. In a way that gives it an interesting, unique vibe to it. The roughness values aren't like crazy. They're nothing insane at all. I don't know why those beams look like ass. Specularity is all the same. Is it the ambient occlusion? I think the red value, if I remember correctly, is like, there's not much going on. So, I don't know. I guess it's too dark. I don't know. Does this have an albedo tinting? Does not have an albedo tint. Could be good to have an albedo tint in here so we can maybe just tint it. What I'm thinking is maybe we just give it a different color for now. White could look kind of cool. Gives it a bit of a different vibe. Turn off metallic. I think this turns off the metallic. It's a whole different material, actually, looking at it. Yeah, we'll just go with that. That's fine. I wouldn't mind another carpet though. I like the carpet. Some here, right outside, right next to the outdoor area. That could be kind of sick. Let's make a white rug. Maybe a dirty rug. I don't know. I like white. Let's get a plant right here. And then I think we wanted to do something here. Let's do table. Little kind of side table, and then a plant. The back, is it fixed? The weird lighting issue? Not really. We just got to deal with it. It's stuck there forever. I think a painting would be kind of nice. Let's put another painting right here. I kind of like the no, I wouldn't want to put that in the main area. That would be like over here or something. Not that anyone would notice that detail, but you know, whatever. Okay. I'm liking it. I don't think we need to put too many more props, because I think then that gets too busy. I think what we should work on is, I did notice some issues with these walls not having masking. However, they have the masked value. So, I think this is just a case of, there's a value here. We have a use masking thing in here. Now it should start masking. Should. This mesh is not. I hope I don't break anything by doing this. It's there, but it's not being used. Oh, because it's cached. Okay, hold on. I see it. I was just following that path. Yeah, no wonder.
What rank am I in Marvel? Dude, I have been hard stuck GM. I'm like GM2, I think. I've been trying to learn Black Panther because I really like. People have been comparing him to Genji, and I was a huge Genji player in Overwatch, and I loved Genji. So I've been trying to learn Black Panther. He's a bit. You got to be really precise with his shift, and I don't think I'm thinking too old for that shit now. But been trying to learn him in quick play. Your GM, sheesh, I can't even get out of gold. I was a big Bucky main, and then they kept banning Bucky, and now they're nerfing Bucky. To be fair, rightfully so. I think the change they're doing on Bucky is pretty good. I either play Thor or Bucky right now. I made plat once in Overwatch, and that's kind of my plateau. I was kind of hard stuck in a ranking in Overwatch because I played with other people that were not good at all. What are they doing to Bucky? They're changing his threshold on his ult. Be like, I think 15% health instead now, so you have to like deal a lot more damage for that finisher or execution, I guess. And I think they're also changing some damage stuff as well. And then obviously they're changing his group up. So he doesn't have Rocket Raccoon infinite ammo anymore. He has a team up with Captain America, which makes more sense, I would say. Makes a lot more sense. I'm surprised they didn't do that initially. But his team up actually will be pretty good with him because his team up will allow him to engage and disengage pretty easily. And they're also increasing the cooldown of his hook by like 5 seconds. Something ridiculous. I remember the number was pretty high, which I also would agree with based on my experience with Bucky. Yeah, I don't remember what else they're doing. I think they're increasing his health or decreasing it. I don't remember. Bucky. Wait, no. Marvel Rivals patch notes. What are they doing for season 2? Did this one 2025-04-11? Is it tomorrow? The update? I thought it was today. Oh no, this is a more up to date. These are different changes. These are additional changes. Oh, they're changing some shader compilation stuff? Look at that. I would say Marvel Rivals is one of the few studios that I think is using UE5 relatively well. They're actually making good use of it. It's kind of interesting. I feel like they've been using it pretty well. It is I guess it is tomorrow. Interesting. They're changing up Captain America, which is good, but he's still like stupid, overpowered. They're buffing Hulk, so Hulk is a permaban, I think. Hulk is 100% a permaban now. Now they're changing Bucky. What are they doing to him again? Winter Soldier. They're increasing the bionic hook by 4 seconds, which is 1/3. It's or half. It's half of it plus. So this is like, yeah, a lot slower. And then they're reducing the base damage of the ult and lowering the culling threshold. What's weird is the wording here. Reducing the base damage, but lowering the culling threshold from 20% of max health to 15%. I don't know why they say but. It's like, and, it's like, yeah, and lowering the... I don't know why but is in here. That's almost like saying, hey, we did a nerf, but we're also doing a buff, but this is also another nerf. Yeah. So his ult is very much lower. It is basically just a final hit execute. Whereas before, it was a little bit of like a damage dealer, I would argue, the ult. Quite a bit of a damage dealer. But yeah. Penny, Ember, Spider-Man, Hulk. Wait, Ember? You mean Human Torch? Human Torch, in my opinion, was strong. He just had a bit of an awkward playstyle. Because I had some games where I played Human Torch and I absolutely obliterated. The new character, Ember. Ember? No, isn't the new character fucking something Frost? Emma Frost or whatever? I think Moon Knight has both a nerf and a buff. It's kind of a weird one. Yeah. I think it's some good changes to like change up the meta, which I think is always good. There's always going to be characters that are very powerful. Like always. Like it's always going to be a thing. In my experience, all he does is charge the healer ults. Well, if you have a good team, you need like another DPS that can final hits. But I think I feel like Human Torch can do it, but yeah. They gave him a bit of survivability, which I think was very much needed. Using his E was like a suicide thing, unless you're like last hitting one of the last people in the game. Emma's going to be part of it because of her powerful team-ups. Yeah, I guess it's just the team-ups. I think Hulk is going to be the biggest culprit, and yeah, probably Emma Frost. Hulk because of the... also, Hulk himself, and because of his team-up with... what's the guy that the fucking little shoots out the things that start spitting out, and he's got, like, infinite spears or whatever? I forgot his name. Why did how am I forgetting his name? Namor. The Namor team up with Hulk is stupid. He just spits out a thing that constantly spits out acid and can like just shred. Hulk and Namor has a team up? Yeah. So Namor back then used to have a team up with Luna Snow to give him like an ice thing. Now it's like a Hulk thing. Yeah, instead of it being with Luna, it's with Hulk. So Hulk is just gonna end up being a ban again, just like he was a ban with Hulk / Iron Man or whatever. Valorant, I believe, is still UE4. I don't think they moved to UE5. I don't think they have any reason to move to UE5, to be honest. Unless they did move to UE5, but I don't see why they would. I want to say it's in UE4. Because I feel like they said they would. I wonder why. Is it because of like console SDKs or something going to be not usable on UE4 at some point? I don't know. I remember hearing something about that at one point. Like shit gets outdated too much at some point. I don't know if that's entirely true. I feel like it's bullshit. Because then at that point you'd have so many old games that are just unplayable anymore. So I don't know. I feel like that's not true. Not true. False. Fake news. Where am I? Where the hell am I? Okay, this should be fixed now. Yes, we fixed the material. I will say one thing that does kind of look ugly in my game is the internal walls. You can see the internal walls. It really breaks the game a little bit. I should, like, if I had the time, I would expand this wall generator to be so much more, like it knows if it's on the edge, then it's going to pick a specific piece, or if it's too small, it's going to pick a specific piece. There's a ton of stuff that I probably could have done, but I don't think, it's like whatever now at this point. Let's assign these a tag penetrable, so then we can shoot through it. There we go. Is the tree blocking the bullets? No. Okay, good. I feel like in third person this area looks pretty cool. We do see some of that moire. Some of that moire. Not a big fan of that. Why wouldn't you just set the other section, cross section to another material and then just make a shadow switch on it? No ceiling in here. There is a shadow switch on it. It's just this specific middle part is not a separate material ID, unfortunately. I have no clue if I could shader-wise, like, read this. The smart thing to do would just be making a separate static mesh. Like, just a different static mesh that doesn't have, for example, the bottom or the sides. It's just not being lazy about it. We would probably have something that looks prettier, but then that means I'd have to do it for everything, including, like, the door frames here. It's just we're too far deep now. But there's, I'm learning. I think if I ever have to make some stuff like this again or make a generator system like this, I know things to improve upon for it. But yeah, one of the reasons I don't use it is because sometimes I do like to have that end section. You know what I mean? Like right here. I like having this end section here. But yeah. Yep. Now, what I could do is maybe fix the shader to look a little better, and not as garbage, because it is a pretty garbage cutaway like shader. Like I feel like I could make such a better job because we have the cutaway, but it's like instant here and it doesn't fade out, whereas here it like fades. I'm not a shader wizard, so I don't fucking know. I don't know how to make like proper stuff like this, to be honest. I don't know how to. I don't know how to, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how to. I wish I knew. I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart, man. I don't know either. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. But how dare you not know? What if we put a generator over here? Right in the corner. Or something. I feel like that would clutter it. But it would be a good spot for it. Sure. Are we supposed to leave, learn, and come back once we learn it? Yeah, so then you can teach me. Yeah. Obviously. Guys, get with the times. I need you to teach me how all of this works. See you next year? Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Is volumetric fog a setting? Oh. I should have volumetric fog enabled by default on all the levels, and then I just set it through a console command instead. Because volumetric fog would look pretty sick in here. I said that, but like all these values are like ridiculous. It's too foggy. It makes the interiors look very foggy. But now it looks weird, man. Now that I turn that on, I feel like I'm feeling a weird effect now. Trying for quite a while to match the water painted color style of Ghost in the Shell from my materials. That's a bit of a challenge for sure. I learned I'm not an artist. I'm just a guy who tries his best to make something look good. That stuff is always like fascinating to me. Trying to do stuff like that. Like I could never make a game that looks like Black Frost. Like Black Frost looks so good. Marathon, so good. A game like Dishonored, so good. Couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. You'd have to give me like 30 years because I'm like trying to learn everything. You'd have to give me a long time. Okay, let me tell you, you'd have to give me a long time. All right, last area is this. Needs some like a desk or something and a chair. This area needs a bunch of propping. This area is looking extremely empty. This can make do with some windows. This could look kind of sick with some windows. Yeah. Let's get a hold on. Let's get a what did I call it? Cloth? Physical cloth mesh? Yeah, let's get one in here. Yeah. Cool. I don't know why it looks so glossy. What is that? What the hell is that? Bathroom curtain? Okay, do I have another curtain in here? Curtain red. Well, I was hoping for a different like color, not curtain brown. Let's duplicate this. Curtain white. Like, come on, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. My horrendous made up cloth physics that it's all shader based. Yes. Render targets. It is going through the thing, which is not very pretty. But you think anybody's gonna care? It's an indie game, right? Do you think they're gonna care? They might, but you know what? Whatever. You know what we could do? We could instead swap this for, instead of small windows, we do like large windows. That could reduce the amount of potential fuckery. It just doesn't look as good though. I feel like offices have this like smaller windows. I mean, an okay head, just haven't done eyeballs left. I'll send you a picture. Yeah, post it up on Discord or something. Yeah, doing characters, man, it's not easy. It is not easy. Making characters is not an easy feat. Let me tell you, not an easy feat. Could do this where we like turn off the cloth physics in that direction. That would, in theory, resolve it, but that might look extremely static. So maybe we just do -50. Maybe we allow a little bit of movement. Still basically clipping though. Not as much. Chan, do you want me to post it? Yeah, you can, either art or game dev. Yeah, either one works. We could also say that instead of this being a fully closed curtain, it could just be an open curtain. But this one has a lot more folds, and I feel like that fucks with so much of it. So let's just do like a closed curtain. I feel like that makes it interesting. You could also just make it a smaller curtain. That also could be interesting. Dude, stop spawning me in the ceiling! One day I would love to improve this shader to be even... It's interesting. It's a little fun. It adds a little bit of movement, but it's nothing like crazy good, but it's fun. It's a fun little effect. I definitely would love to like make it better. I posted in game dev. Let's see. First character attempt, eh? Starting from making a donut to the character ID you want. Well, hey man, at least you got the ears going. You're learning how to use mirror modifiers, I would imagine, and whatnot. That's all beginnings, man. It's all the beginnings. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, trust me, it took me so long to get to a point where I could like have a somewhat feminine style head with like a dynamic body, and even then it still does not look great. Like I just like these, they look okay, but they don't look very good. They don't look very they don't look great. Like they don't look, and by my standards, right? For the amount of time that I've done modeling and UE and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like played a little Sufire yesterday. I had a small non-gaming bug where I made the roll after dive jumping. But at that, after I died and restarted level, before I died, I was holding space after diving to keep lying down. Had a small non-game breaking bug where I made the roll after dive jumping. But that happened after I died, restarted level. Oh, so you were still lying down when you respawned, Julian? Is that what happened? Now we delayed release to Q1 2026. When will I add sliders for body customization? What the hell is this guy saying? No, we're not going to have any sliders. In fact, the clothing options, some of them are going to be, I guess, feminine or whatever you want to say. And then some of them are just going to be male. And then you just pick and choose whatever the fuck you want. I'm not bothering with sliders or any of that. We have sliders for like skin color and oh my god, is the widget fucking it's stretching. When did that happen? Here it's I don't know how that happened. The mirror was a complete fail. So I think what you have a problem with mirroring sniping is just understanding how the mirror works. I'll show you really quickly how the mirrors work and show you a little rundown. So let's say this is your character's head, and then let's say this is your ears, right? I probably could have just done both spheres, but okay, so let's say this is your ear. Let's say you placed your ear over here. So the mirror modifier works off of the origin. So that's usually when you right click on it, do you see this like orange circle and where like the origin usually is? As long as you have the pivot point set to median point or bounding box center or whatever, that will go wherever the origin is. When you do a mirror modifier, it'll either do one of two things. You can, by default, it will work off of its origin point. Or you can choose a mirror object, and then that will use the object's origin point. So if I select this sphere, it's now using this origin point as like the controlling thing. So let's say this is, so you could think of it as like this. It basically uses this now. Whereas if I only used the current object like this, it's going to do this wherever the origin point is, right? Which is, you know, close enough, whatever. But obviously when we do that, like if I were to delete one side, you'll see, oh, we have the other side because it's mirroring where the origin point is. So let's say we wanted to use this, like make our own origin point without using a separate object. Like you would have to, so for what I would do is I hit Shift S and that brings up this menu for me in object mode. I can do cursor to selected. So now we've basically brought our cursor back to 0, 0, 0. You can modify this by going to view and then 3D cursor and you can see where your cursor is. Then what you could do is select the object, hit W, and then you can set the origin of it to 3D cursor. So now you can see, hey, look at this. So sometimes when you're moving things around, you sometimes don't want to move it in object mode because that moves the pivot. You actually want to move it in edit mode because that doesn't move the origin. That only moves the geometry. So then here we have some ears. You know what I mean? So that's how your mirror works. That's how the mirror modifier works. Sometimes it helps to just know what is it actually doing. It helps to know what it's actually doing because then it gives you more context. Oh, that's how that works, right? Yeah. Make sure your scale and location is correct. Yeah, sometimes these axes won't be correct because you have them. You might have the object mirrored and whatnot, and that might not be what you want. So sometimes what I would recommend is hit Control A in object mode, and then sometimes apply the rotation and the scale. And that helps you at times with certain things. And usually I would recommend having these zeroed out and be like 1, 1, 1 and whatnot. So yeah, good JNX. Yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm understanding better. You lost me at the end, but I'm slowly catching up. What part of it lost you? What part of it lost you? And I can re-explain it in a different way. Like in terms of how to change your pivot point, I like it is a bit confusing. There's a lot of buttons, so I don't blame you. It's just, I guess, learning the process of how to change your origin point. Right, that would be the biggest thing. So I would learn these, which I think these are default. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, sorry. Shift plus S when you're in object mode. Right, Shift plus S is a great one, and I usually just use the cursor to selected. Right, Shift plus S. If I select an object, you can also do this in edit mode as well. So if I have my bounding box here, it'll go to right here, right? Or let's say I select this vert at the very top here, Shift plus S, now it goes here. So if I wanted to, I can then set the origin by hitting W in object mode. Hitting W will open up the object options and then do origin to 3D cursor. Now if I did a mirror on this, but then I put it on the Z, you can see that it goes up like that. It is a bit confusing for these. So maybe, let's see. Going down in the drop downs, you have object, and then you have set origin is at the very top here in the drop down, which is probably at the top for you. I like it at the bottom personally. You have your set origin stuff here as well. Yeah. Yeah, you also have the search bar. You can just do set origin. I always use space bar. I don't know if it's default space bar. I made it space bar. That one is also great to use because you can like search up a lot of things and then you slowly learn how to do it. You should also leave the stream saved so I can come back to it. It's on the YouTube channel, so just keep track of which one it was. That's about it. Yeah, hopefully that helps. All right, moving on. And then just, yeah, keep track of Shift S, W. Those are like big buttons that you'll probably use a lot either way. Can I ask you a UE question? Sure. Maybe. Depends. Maybe. You might be able to. All right, how are we looking here? We did a props pass on building B. I'm pretty happy with the props pass. I think there's enough in here to be passable. Actually, hold on. Only Godot questions. Psychopath. Shift D is to dupe. Yeah, once you get into it, it becomes muscle memory. Just a process of just keep using those buttons and keep getting used to them. That's a big part of it. Just keep using those buttons. I actually think putting that there is a bad idea. Blocks the vision. Where are you gonna put it? Behind the office? And then in the back here, oh yeah, we should have a window. Problem is we have this stupid thing here. Okay, copy, paste, delete, delete, copy, paste, delete, delete. Okay, now we have this separated. We can give it the proper material that we want. Cool. I really did make a kind of weird workflow for myself with these fucking controls and stuff. You know, I really did something weird. Could have done a lot better on this, but whatever. How would you detect a fast direction turn, like running into a direction and then pressing the opposite direction in a short amount of time? I swear I've done that calculation before.
Shit my pants, I did.
I think what you'd want to do is you'd want to keep track of the last input frame and which direction the player was going in. Or you check their current velocity against what their velocity will be in terms of their desired direction that they want to move in when they hit a direction key. That's probably what you want to do. Read the velocity and then read their desired direction that they want to go in. If it's opposite of what it's currently, then that would be considered a turn. And then you would probably start any turn animation stuff or whatever. Sniping, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate it. I met someone who uses Godot. You make it sound like it's this like, it's like this fucking bad thing, like they did drugs or something. Why it sound like that? I would assume no acceleration. At its basic, that is the best way of probably figuring out the thing. But obviously, yeah, you'd want to check the velocity. If the velocity is a specific value, then you can figure out how fast of a turn it would be. You'd want to check maybe if the velocity is over a certain value, right? Because the velocity is after acceleration. The acceleration just contributes to the velocity, right? I'm not a math wizard. I don't know this fucking shit. My only pain will be rigging. You are doing a pretty complex subject. I will say you are doing something that's pretty complex, but it's, you know, it's one of those things you learn a lot very quickly. You learn a lot pretty quick by taking on a subject like that, making a character model. Just, you know, you will get frustrated. Just don't worry about it. Just take it one step at a time. Trust me, even to this day when I do characters, I get frustrated. I've been getting frustrated for the past 4 days. I think frustration is a good sign. Don't be scared of it. Frustration shows a new topic to learn. It's not something. Don't be too scared of it. I think it's just a matter of just controlling your own. I guess what would be a word I'd use here? Your threshold with it, and then knowing when to take a break and just be like, okay, I'll come back to this, but I'll take note of the thing that I'm like annoyed about or frustrated with. And then just try to put it in the best words you can put it with the knowledge you know. I think I got you. Yeah, so I think whenever you're doing any movement, you're probably going to want to read what's going on and then detect. Or you can also detect acceleration. You can also just detect acceleration. I think acceleration is a direction value, right? So you could just read the velocity and then the Actually, would acceleration give you? I actually don't know. I don't think it would. I think it has to be like direction that you want to move in. All right, cool. We got that office. I'm not going to add anything too complex in here because it's kind of like a side room. I guess we could add like a sofa chair in here. Okay. I was going to put a table in here, but I'm too lazy. I can't be bothered right now. Sofa chair in the corner with a small table. You know what, man? I like that kind of sound. You know what that sounds like? It's like the cuckold chair. Put a little lamp there, you know what I mean? Hey, yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Nice little lamp over here. Hey, look at that. Wowee. It's popular in Japan. Hey, hell yeah. That's what you like. That's very specific. It's an office room. It's, you know, it's very... Oh, God. You have a camera? I'm sure I probably do. Camera? I don't know if I have like a... Oh, no, I don't have like a traditional camera. They're all like security cameras. Cam? Prop camshaft. Yeah, I knew something car related was gonna fucking pop up in here. Put the camera facing the corner chair only. I don't have a camera. I would love that though. That'd be so great. Whatever. I'm not gonna go too far into that. Tripod? Pod. Try. Stand? Gosh, I'm gonna be honest. I can't be bothered. It's whatever. This is funny enough. You can make your own, you know, you can make your own finalizations of what that can mean. So many assets and not a single camera, right? Cynthia assets. They just don't care anymore. They just don't. The dev doesn't even care. Okay, build lighting. I think we are good on building 2. Now we just need building 1, which has received no love except for the front entrance. It doesn't even have a staircase. It's literally just nothing. There's nothing here. Building 1 requires some love. Or maybe it's a construction site. Maybe they just haven't moved in yet. Hey. But then why are there enemies in the building? Because there is going to be enemies in here. So that's not going to make any sense. I'm going to have to think about it. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to think about it. They're renovating the stairs and the entire floor. Yeah, basically the entire building at that point. Where's the toilets in this building? I don't know. Guess we could put one in here. Guess we could, I guess I suppose we could, what we should do is place a door here. But then if we place a door here, then the player can just immediately go through here. It's a bit of a challenge. Bit of a challenge. I ran out of drink. They opened the window. Yep, this truly is cyberpunk. Can I put the feed of my cameras on a texture space? You would probably want to do a render target, and then you could put that target on render target in a material, and then that material could be put on, I guess, anything, any like screens. You do have to remember though, a render target is like you rendering tons of new pixels. It's one of the reasons as to why the Doctor Strange portal in Marvel Rivals is so laggy, is because it's a whole ass render target. So just keep that in mind. For a CCTV, you could probably lower the resolution of it and then do some like little texture fuckery just to give it like a cool little CCTV effect, you know what I mean? Make it really low res. And that could probably pass on. I guess it just depends on what you're kind of doing with your CCTV. You just destroyed his plan of doing a wall full of cam feeds. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm just, you could try it. You might as well try it and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, give it a try. I am, you know what I mean? Which way is our camera? This way? Okay, people will definitely see the cuck chair. That's gonna be great. I can't wait for people to see that. I can't wait. This area looks like IKEA. Perfect. Exactly what we need. The plant area / garden still looks like ass, I will say. It looks like straight fucking shit. Not a fan. But, you know, whatever. We need to work on building A. This is our biggest culprit right now in terms of blocker. We need to work on building A. Building A is empty. It needs a bit of love. It needs different furniture. Can't be the same as the building B. Because then that's just weird. That's just weird. Prop pass, floor details, aka just a bunch of papers on the ground. That's our floor details. I really need to expand our floor details. Currently, it's just papers. It's just papers scattered around. That's our floor details. Let's give it a look in third person, because I feel like we haven't looked at it in third person in a hot minute. We need more outside windows here. It feels very enclosed, which feels very weird for a kind of like a high-rise building. Some more windows here could look pretty sick. I need to fix the reflection captures here because it's showing above in the above windows. Not a big fan of that. Not a huge fan of that. I think we could do a better job there. The tiling on the ceiling is not pretty. I might want to change that. Oh yeah, this doesn't have a ceiling. I forgot. Is Obadoba a reference to something? Hey, looking good. It's, how do I explain this? I'm in a community where there's a bunch of game devs, and one of them works on this game called Obadoba. And it's kind of like an inside joke, or not an inside joke, but kind of like a little revolving meme that's been around for a while within that community. And I was like, I'll just throw it in. It's like, maybe some people might notice it, and some people will just think, oh, that's a random ad. Just some random ass ad. Just like how they'll see the Ronin ad and be like, it's just some random ass ad. Or Crimson Burger, you know what I mean? Ah, Crimson Burger. Or the Ronin ad. It's like this game, but cyberpunk. As in, what I meant by that is, it's like a game that's never going to be fucking finished. That's what that actually means. So, yeah. This area looks cool. I think we need a rim around the building there. And I love that emissive sphere, even though it's floating in midair. It looks great. I like that. Let's get some more of that on the ceiling. So we got multiple things we need to fix. We need to fix the ceiling in the maintenance room. Needs a ceiling. Additionally, the ceiling pieces here have too much roughness values. I think that's just because the tiling is incorrect. That should look a lot better. It's better. Not great, but it's better. Then over here, going ahead and grab some of these cool comm towers, which are from Ronin, which is always funny. And put one in here for silhouette. I don't think the camera is going to see that in third person, so I don't think we need to add a tag to it, but maybe we should. Just to be safe. What was another thing that I wanted to do? I think we wanted a rim around this. Let's do curb. That's good enough detail. Yep. Make it not too square. You know, work on my game, kind of stalling and beating the lore in place. Hey, just get a little piece of it done. You know what I mean? Just get a little piece of it done. You don't need to do the entire thing. Just get a little piece done. That's how I usually follow that kind of thing. It's like if you feel like you're not getting progress done, just do like a little tiny thing. Just do a little piece of it. You don't need to do enormous progress every single time you work on your project. Ah! Like that shit. Yeah, whatever, close enough. That adds a bit of an edge detail there. Oh, an ad here. Oh, dude, an ad right here. Ooh, it's some... Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But which one? But which one? Is the question. Which one? Not that one. Do I not have any other digital adverts than that? I must have more advertisements than that, right? I do not. Life is weird. Anyways, let's just use this one then. This very much feels like Ronin, which I think I love that because it's like this whole series of levels is just very Ronin-esque. Ads everywhere. So much stuff happening in the rooftops. There's fog, so you don't even see the bottom of the world. I love that. So emissive, let's do a larger emissive boost. Let's do like 8, 15. Okay, maybe not that much. I don't know how that's gonna look. That might not look great. So instead what I'll do is I'll do a rectangular light. Cool. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to fix, the reflection capture. That was one of them. So I want to fix this, that we don't see this outside as much. And then instead what I can do is get my own reflection capture here to get the outside. Gonna burn my whole mouse pad. All right, build reflection capture. That's gonna fix the size of this thing. And that looks sick. Although I hate how it kind of overlaps. I hate how the screen space reflection and the built reflection capture, they like fight each other. That's one thing I don't like. You know what I mean? You can see them kind of fighting. They're like arguing. That part I don't like very much. But this shows like, you could see the building in the back. That's kind of sick. You know what I mean? It's some cool details, but it's definitely not like amazing. I don't know how to fix that offsetting. I guess, would I have to increase the size of this reflection capture? It's probably not a very good idea, but just try it. Will it be noticeable from the player's perspective? Maybe like once, but who cares? And you'd only see it in third person. It would be cool to be able to see like this side of the building from there. But it's like so dark that you can't even see it. There you go. Now we see it, but it just kind of looks weird. Kind of looks weird. Let's do something though. That's a cool little detail. Don't think you would, I guess you could see it from there. I don't think this would be noticeable, but I guess it kind of is. A little bit. I like those little details. I think they're fun little details. being able to see those emissives. Could maybe do like a satellite as well. Or a billboard on top of here. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I like that. What is that billboard showing to? I don't know. You think I know? I feel like we have to have these little details for third person. You know what I mean? It kind of gives it more life. Which I think is always good. Having these little details that really, it gives you something to look at in the mode. It's not like just like some random added thing. It's like it's got a little something to it. You know what I mean? It's got some substance, which I think is always good to have. It's like a good little investment of time. I'd say. Not an enormous waste of time. Yeah, cool. I think. I don't know. Maybe. Sort of. All right. Build lighting. Hit the build button. I think we fixed all the issues that we noticed while we were testing. I think. Yeah. Is this Ronin? No, it's still Suit for Hire. But it does feel very much like a homage to Ronin, because it does feel very much like the rooftops. The rooftop levels. It does very much feel like that. For all we know, maybe this is Ronin. Maybe I'm just turning Suit for Hire into Ronin. It's good practice for Ronin, I guess. My computer's freezing. Help. What's going on? All right. Let it build. Don't move. All right, fine. Is it done yet? Are we there yet? Dude, we got a bunch of air conditioning units and I didn't even use any of them. Whoa! Dude, we could so much potential. We could use so many air conditioning units in here. We haven't even used a single one. Dude, we know what to do. We know what to do. I know, I hate how everything's floating. We should default it to hidden because it's really annoying seeing it all float in midair. You know what's awesome about this, guys? When I end the stream, I have leftovers in the fridge. You know how good that feels? Dude. Dude. Hell yeah. Food? Yes. I love food. Sunday part 6. You don't deserve leftovers until Ronin is completed? This guy wants me to die of starvation. Maybe we work on Ronin next. I don't know what we work on next, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what game we work on next. It could be Idle Game, could be both. I don't know. It could be Idle Game and Ronin. Who knows? The thing is, both games, I've how I envision those games have relatively big scope. What's Ronin? It's a silly, stupid cyberpunk hack and slash roguelike kind of game that I was working on, and have not worked on in a really long time. The footage these days does not look very good at all. I would argue, funny enough, our older devlogs just looked better for the game. I somehow made the game worse. I somehow made the game worse. I would say the best version of the game was devlog 2, I think. Like, it actually looked like it had a good combat structure. Like, I think this is probably what I'll end up making Ronin again, is like this. Like, just very eccentric, like very crazy movements, swinging and stuff like that. Very styled, I think. Yeah. Yeah, maybe one day. I definitely overscoped this game when I could have just kept it simple, but that's okay. I've been picturing making this game like you unlock permanent abilities for your character, or abilities that you can choose, and doing very going kind of going in the direction of the game I'm thinking of. Why can't I think of it? Why can't I picture it? There's a second game, Risk of Rain 2, kind of going in the direction of Risk of Rain 2. But I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Not sure what I want to do. Time to learn gameplay ability system. At some point, I would like to learn gameplay ability system, because it's quite clear that there's a lot of stuff to it. My favorite part of this game was this screen right here. Also, the legal compliance issue that this Xbox logo right here probably would have caused. But I'm really glad that we did not release this game with that. That would have been pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know which direction I would take this game, though, if I were to work on it again. I know I would probably go very roguelite-esque, where it's like you go through a map, and like once you complete an area, then you like split off into different areas. Very Hades-esque, I guess. That's probably what I would do. Because I know at some point I overscoped this game to the point where I was like, it's an open world city that you always spawn in, and then you just have different contracts within it, and then you, like, the roguelite-esque thing is within the same city, and I'm like, there ain't no fucking way we're doing that. Ain't no way. I'm not doing that. Like, what is number 3 supposed to be? I think the combat, I made it look worse here. Like, I was definitely overscoping it. We made the combat look more stiff, which I think was just not good for the game. Yeah, I don't know what I would do for this game. Not sure. But I think if I work on it again, I'll have a much more solidified concept and idea in my head, because I know a lot more of what I would want to do, and knowing ahead of time on what I would want to do, I think is good. Sliding. Backstabs that look horrible. AI that's not working because I never worked on AI ever. Oh, this was when I was using Hack and Plan. I don't like Hack and Plan. And we also had that drone that would follow you and like provide a light, and I don't know what I was doing, man. I don't know what I was doing, okay? Let me be honest. I think I had ideas. Some were good, some were shit. A lot were shit. Such as swapping the entire project to ALS. Now that's shit. Is this providing any light? It is providing a red tint. Yeah, nice. Maybe a little bit too much. Is that a Santa hat? Yeah, it was a Santa hat. Yep. For the holidays. Make something like Ninja Gaiden. A lot of people have related the game to Ninja Gaiden. That might be something I reference a little bit, but let's see what I end up actually doing. I'm not 100% certain yet. Cool. This has a ceiling now. Very cool. Okay, now we just need to work on building 2. Wait, do we even see this billboard? I guess if you look behind you, you'd see like the detail. Yeah, Runner's Paradise. There it is. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I think we should put some windows. And some windows here. How about Fury? World needs another Fury. Well, Fury is top down. Funny enough, Ronin was supposed to be top down in the beginning. So if I go back here and I look at Devlog 1 or pre-Devlog 1, it was literally a top-down game. That was the initial idea. The initial idea was to make it top-down. So yeah, basically sword for hire. Yeah, literally. With a movable camera, I guess, which is one of the differences. There was like no wall running animations. It was just you would just glide on the wall. I don't know what I would make the game. I don't know if I want to work on another top-down game. Oh, yeah, you couldn't even hit enemies yet. That's how early it was. This is like probably as close as I got to like proper prototyping. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes. Once we finish this game, we'll see what I end up doing. Captain, this Sunday lasts forever. I know. It's April 6th, part 6. It's coming up. Because I'm going to go eat. I'm going to finish this fucking level today. Ain't no way am I doing this tomorrow again. Tomorrow we gotta do other stuff. We gotta do character customization. That's our biggest blocker right now. The other enemies, bro, it's gonna be easy. Yeah. New enemies, that's no problem. Well, maybe. It might be a problem. Grenade launcher? I don't have a grenade launcher. But, you know, I'll figure it out. Yeah, whatever. If I even do that. I don't know if I will. I also have a martyr enemy that blows up on death. I don't know if I want to do that because I could put that in a specific series of levels, but that could be seen as extremely, I don't know, what would that be? Racist, xenophobic? I don't know if that's a good idea. I'd have to put them in different levels other than that level. But then would that also be seen as, maybe we just don't do that enemy. Maybe we just don't do an enemy that blows up when you kill them. Yeah, maybe we don't do that. I don't know. Think about that. Yeah. I also got to do my taxes. So I'll see you guys. You should have them drop grenades on death. I guess it could be that. But I wanted it to be like immediate death or explosion, I guess. What am I using to plan this out? It's called Notion. 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 Yeah, I got a bunch of bugs we need to fix and work on, so I would like to work on that tomorrow. And then maybe some suit customization stuff. We need to get through that ASAP. Maybe I even downscope this. Instead of 9 unique bodysuit body stuff, we do 6. And then we just do a bunch of recolors and stuff. Honestly, guys, yeah. 15 accessories? That's a little excessive, my friend. How about 12? Okay. Wait, hold on. All right. Take it easy. You're gonna go check out your YouTube stuff? Yeah, check out the YouTube channel. And whatever the fuck. And my videos aren't that good. I'm gonna be completely honest. They're kind of groggy. Like when you look at them, they're kind of groggy. I will admit they're pretty groggy. You know what I mean? Like, not like, it's not like you're watching Danny, you know, work on fucking Carlson or whatever it is, you know, kind of boring. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye. See you then. Have a great day. I'm going to go eat some food. Goodbye. See you then. Tomorrow. This level will be done. Or I quit.